Welcome to my channel, Old Valuable. Stop scrolling. This is the most valuable Susan B. Anthony coin you could ever find in the USA. Minted in 1979, some of these coins are secretly worth thousands of dollars today. Collectors are hunting them down, and rare errors like the 1979 P small date or 1979 S proof can make you rich overnight. Don't underestimate this coin. It's small, but it packs a massive value. If you own one, it could be your ticket to a fortune. Watch carefully, because missing this could cost you thousands. If you have ever ignored a small silver-colored dollar coin in your pocket, stop right now, because the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin from the United States is one of the most misunderstood, controversial, and secretly hunted modern coins in American history. Today we are going deep, and I mean deep, into the real story, the shocking facts, the rare varieties, the mint errors, and the hidden value that could turn an ordinary-looking 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar into a serious payday. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear has caused collectors to recheck their change, dig through old drawers, and rethink everything they thought they knew about this coin. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was introduced in 1979, and from the very beginning, it was different. This was the first U.S. coin to feature a real woman who was not a symbolic figure or a fictional representation. Susan B. Anthony was a powerful leader in the women's rights movement, a woman who fought relentlessly for equality and voting rights. Putting her on a U.S. coin was a bold move, and it made history. But despite this historic significance, the coin faced massive controversy almost immediately. The biggest problem was its size. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar was almost the same size as a quarter, and millions of Americans confused the two. Vending machines rejected it. Cashiers disliked it. The public rejected it. Because of this confusion, many people stopped using it, and the coin quickly developed a reputation as a failure. But here's the twist. What the public rejected, collectors eventually began to chase. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint produced its own version, and this is where things start to get very interesting. Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, Denver coins have a D mint mark, and San Francisco coins have an S mint mark. At first glance, these coins may look ordinary, but hidden among them are varieties and errors that can dramatically change the value. Let's talk about the most famous and most valuable variety of the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar, the one that every collector dreams of finding, the 1979 wide rim variety. Also known as a near-date variety, this version has a date position much closer to the rim of the coin compared to the normal issue. The difference might seem small, but once you know what to look for, it becomes obvious. This variety was struck early in the production run, before the mint modified the design. Fewer were made, and many people never noticed the difference. Today, a 1979 wide-rim Susan B. Anthony dollar can be worth many times more than a standard coin, especially in high condition. And here's the crazy part. These coins still turn up in collections and old rolls because so many people never knew they existed. Imagine owning a coin for decades and not realizing it's a rare version everyone wants. Now let's move to the San Francisco Mint, because this is where collectors really start paying attention. In 1979, San Francisco produced both circulation strikes and proof versions. Some proof coins were struck with a filled S mint mark, while others show a clear S. That small detail can mean a massive difference in desirability. Proof coins were made with special care, sharper details, and mirror-like surfaces, and they were never intended for everyday use. Because of that, high-quality examples are highly sought after. Then there are mint errors, and this is where things get truly exciting. Off-center strikes, double strikes, clip planchets, weak strikes, and die cracks all exist with the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar. These errors happen during the minting process and slip past quality control. Each error tells a story of a moment when the minting machinery didn't behave as planned. Some of these errors can make a coin worth far more than its face value, sometimes hundreds or even thousands, depending on the severity and eye appeal. Another fascinating aspect of the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar is its composition. Unlike earlier silver dollars, this coin is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. That decision alone upset many collectors at the time, because people expected a dollar coin to feel heavy and valuable. Instead, they got a lighter coin that felt similar to a quarter. Ironically, that disappointment is part of what makes this coin so collectible today. It represents a major turning point in U.S. coinage history. The design itself is also packed with meaning. On the obverse, you see a strong, realistic portrait of Susan B. Anthony, not idealized, not softened, but honest and powerful. On the reverse, you see an eagle landing on the moon, inspired by the Apollo 11 mission. This design was originally intended for an earlier dollar coin, and its reuse here connects women's rights history with America's space achievements. That combination alone makes this coin incredibly symbolic. Condition plays a massive role in value. Most 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars you'll find in circulation are worn, scratched, or dull. But coins that have never been used, with sharp details and clean surfaces, are far scarcer than people realize. Because the coin was unpopular, many sat in storage, but many also suffered from poor handling. Finding a clean, high-quality example today is much harder than it sounds. What makes this coin especially powerful for collectors is the psychology behind it. For years, people dismissed it. They ignored it. They spent it without a second thought. And that kind of neglect often creates opportunity. Coins that are loved from day one are often saved in large numbers. Coins that are hated are not. That imbalance can drive long-term demand. Another important factor is nostalgia. The Susan B. Anthony dollar represents a specific era in American history, the late 1970s, a time of social change, economic challenges, and shifting values. As more people revisit that era, interest in its coins grows. Collectors who grew up seeing these coins now want them back, but in the best condition possible. If you are searching for a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar, always start by checking the rim and the date placement. Look closely at the mint mark. Examine the surfaces for unusual features. Never assume a coin is ordinary until you've truly inspected it. Some of the most valuable finds come from coins that people thought were worth only $1. The market for these coins continues to evolve. While common examples may trade close to face value, premium examples with strong eye appeal, rare varieties, and clear errors can command serious attention. As more collectors enter the hobby and more information becomes available, awareness increases, and that can push demand higher. What truly makes the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar special is its story. It is a coin that failed in circulation but succeeded in history. It was mocked, misunderstood, and overlooked, yet it broke barriers and opened the door for future designs honoring real American women. That alone gives it lasting importance beyond numbers and prices. Stop scrolling right now, because the coin I'm about to talk about could be sitting unnoticed in your drawer, your wallet, or an old coin jar, and it could be worth far more than $1. This is not hype. This is not clickbait. This is a real story behind one of the most shocking modern U.S. coins ever released, the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar coin. Most people don't even realize this coin exists, and that ignorance is exactly why collectors are paying serious money for it today. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was originally introduced in 1979, and from the very beginning, it was controversial. Americans rejected it almost immediately because it was too similar in size and color to the quarter. People confused it constantly, vending machines rejected it, and public demand collapsed. By 1981, production stopped, and most Americans assumed the coin was dead forever. But that assumption would turn out to be a massive mistake. Fast forward to the late 1990s. The U.S. government suddenly realized something alarming. Millions of Susan B. Anthony dollars were still being used by transit systems, vending machines, and government operations, and the stockpile was running dangerously low. At the same time, the new Sacagawea dollar was not yet ready for release. So in a move that shocked collectors and the public alike, the mint made an unexpected decision. In 1999, nearly 2 decades after production had ended, the Susan B. Anthony dollar was resurrected. No announcement. No public excitement, no major promotion, just quietly struck again. This alone makes the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar incredibly special. It is a final year of issue, the only year struck after a long production gap, and a coin that most Americans never even noticed entering circulation. That lack of awareness is exactly why this coin has become one of the most hunted modern U.S. dollars today. Now let's talk about what makes the 1999 Susan B. Anthony coin different, because this is where things get interesting. Unlike earlier years that were produced in massive numbers and heavily saved, the 1999 issue was made strictly to fill an emergency demand. These coins were meant to be used, not collected. As a result, very few people saved them at the time, and even fewer remain in clean, original condition today. This coin features the iconic portrait of Susan B. Anthony, one of the most important figures in American history. She fought relentlessly for women's rights and became the first real woman depicted on circulating U.S. currency. The design is bold, serious, and symbolic. On the reverse, you see the American eagle landing on the moon, honoring the Apollo 11 mission, a design originally used on the Eisenhower dollar. That combination of social history and space exploration makes this coin uniquely American. But history alone doesn't drive value. Scarcity does. The 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar was produced in significantly lower numbers compared to earlier years. And because it was released during a transitional period when most people had already forgotten about the series, many of these coins went straight into circulation, where they were scratched, damaged, or lost forever. High-quality examples are far harder to find than people expect. Collectors today are actively searching for this coin, especially ones with sharp details, clean surfaces, and strong strikes. Even coins that look ordinary to the untrained can command surprising prices depending on condition and demand. And this demand is growing fast as more people realize just how unusual this final year issue really is. Now here's something most people don't know. The 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar represents a historical turning point in U.S. coinage. It marks the end of an experiment, the final chapter of a series that tried and failed to change how Americans use dollar coins. Immediately after 1999, the mint moved on to the golden-colored Sacagawea dollar, effectively replacing Susan B. Anthony forever. That makes the 1999 issue not just another coin, but the closing act of an era. And collectors love final year coins. Final year coins are famous for gaining attention over time because they represent the end of a story. Once the public understands that no more will ever be made, interest grows, prices rise, and availability drops. That is exactly what is happening right now with the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar. What makes this even more explosive is how many people still overlook it. Many assume Susan B. Anthony dollars were only made in the late 1970s and early 1980s. They don't even think to check for a 1999 date. That lack of awareness creates opportunity. And in the coin world, opportunity is everything. If you find one of these coins, don't dismiss it. Don't spend it. Don't toss it back into circulation. Look closely at the date. Examine the details. This is one of those coins where knowledge separates those who gain value from those who lose it without ever knowing. Another factor driving attention is the broader rise in interest for modern U.S. coins. Collectors who were once focused only on 19th century pieces are now realizing that modern coins with unusual stories, limited availability, and historical importance can be just as powerful. The 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar checks all of those boxes. It is modern. It is misunderstood. It has a dramatic comeback story. And it ended a major chapter in U.S. coinage. That combination is rare. As more people search for valuable coins in circulation, this coin continues to surface in conversations, online searches, and private collections. Each year, fewer nice examples remain available, and demand keeps pushing upward. Coins that once traded quietly are now being recognized for what they truly are, a sleeper modern collectible with long-term potential. This is why you're seeing a surge in interest around the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar. This is why collectors are paying attention. And this is why videos like this matter, because once the secret becomes common knowledge, the opportunity disappears. So if you've ever received a Susan B. Anthony dollar and ignored it, now is the time to think again. If you've ever assumed all dollar coins are the same, this coin proves otherwise. And if you're serious about finding overlooked U.S. coins with real collector interest, the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar deserves your full attention. Stop everything you're doing right now, because a coin I'm about to talk about could be sitting unnoticed in your pocket, drawer, or old jar, and most people have absolutely no idea what they are holding. This is the Sacagawea dollar coin from the United States, year 2000, Denver Mint, and this coin has shocked collectors, confused the public, and created some of the most surprising value stories in modern American coin history. If you've ever ignored golden-colored dollar coins, this video is going to completely change how you look at money forever. The Sacagawea dollar was introduced at the turn of the millennium, and that alone makes it historic. The year 2000 marked a new era, and the U.S. Mint wanted a bold, modern coin that honored American history while pushing into the future. That's why they chose Sacagawea, the Native American woman who helped guide the Lewis and Clark expedition. This wasn't just a design choice, it was a statement. A woman, a Native American, a guide, a survivor, and her face was placed on a circulating U.S. dollar coin for the first time ever. Now here's where things get interesting. The 2000 D Sacagawea dollar was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark. Millions were produced, but here's the brutal truth most people don't know. The coin failed in circulation. Americans didn't like it. Vending machines rejected it. People confuse it with quarters. And because of that, most of these coins went straight into storage, vaults, and drawers, untouched for decades. That's exactly how hidden value is created. The coin has a smooth edge, a golden color made from a unique manganese brass alloy, and a bold eagle on the reverse that symbolizes freedom and strength. But the real power of this coin isn't just a design. It's the errors, variations, strike quality, and condition rarity that can turn an ordinary-looking dollar into something collectors aggressively hunt for. Let's talk about why the 2000 D Sacagawea dollar is one of the most searched modern U.S. coins online today. First, it belongs to the very first year of issue. First-year coins always matter. Second, Denver Mint coins from this year are known for strike inconsistencies. Some were weakly struck. Some were off-center. Some showed dramatic die cracks, double details, missing edge elements, or unusual surface textures. These are not small mistakes. These are the kinds of errors that make collectors stop scrolling and start bidding. There are people who have found Sacagawea dollars worth only face value, and then there are people who discovered rare error examples that sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And the scary part? Most people never even check. They spend them. They ignore them. They throw them back into circulation. One of the most talked about variations involves bold doubling on the date or lettering, especially around Liberty and In God We Trust. Another involves planchet issues where the coin appears improperly colored or underweight. Some Denver Mint examples show unusual rim flaws or incomplete edge formation, which instantly puts them into a different category for collectors. And condition matters more than people realize. A clean, sharply struck 2000 D Sacagawea dollar that was never circulated can be dramatically more desirable than a worn example. Coins that never touched circulation often sat in rolls, bags, or sealed storage since the year 2000. Those are the coins that trigger bidding wars. Here's another thing nobody talks about. The Sacagawea dollar never truly went away. It quietly evolved into the Native American dollar series. That means the original 2000 issue became the foundation of an entire program. And collectors always go back to the beginning. Always. Search trend prove it. Searches for 2000 D Sacagawea dollar value, rare Sacagawea dollar errors, and gold dollar coin worth money spike every single year. Why? Because people are discovering these coins again. And when the public wakes up, prices don't stay quiet. If you're holding one right now, look closely. Check the date. Check the mint mark. Look for anything unusual. Even tiny differences can mean everything. Coins like this are the reason collectors say knowledge is more valuable than money itself. And here's a psychological twist that makes this coin so powerful for content and virality. People don't expect a modern coin to be valuable. They expect treasure to be old, dusty, and ancient. But modern rarity is the most dangerous rarity of all because it hides in plain sight. The Sacagawea dollar is proof of that. This coin tells a story of ambition, failure, rediscovery, and potential. It was supposed to replace the dollar bill. It didn't. It was supposed to circulate everywhere. It didn't. And because of that, it became something else entirely. A sleeper coin, a quiet contender, a modern classic. If you collect coins, this is one you cannot ignore. If you don't collect coins, this might be the one that pulls you into the hobby. And if you ever pass over a golden dollar without a second glance, this video exists to make sure you never do that again. Listen carefully, because the coin you might be ignoring in your pocket could be hiding a story that shocks collectors across the United States and beyond. Today we are diving deep into the Sacagawea dollar coin, USA 2000p, a golden dollar that looks common, feels modern, and yet carries controversy, history, rare varieties, and surprising value potential that most people never talk about. If you have ever seen a golden dollar and thought it was boring, stay with me, because by the end of this video you will never look at this coin the same way again. The year 2000 was supposed to change everything for US dollar coins. The United States Mint wanted a fresh start, a bold design, and a coin that Americans would actually use. That mission gave birth to the Sacagawea dollar, and the Philadelphia Mint struck millions of these coins in the year 2000. But here's a twist most people don't realize. Even though millions were made, very few ever entered real circulation. That alone makes this coin one of the strangest modern US dollars ever produced. The 2000p Sacagawea dollar features Sacagawea, the Shoshone woman who helped guide the Lewis and Clark expedition. This was historic. It was the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real Native American woman. That alone makes this coin extremely important in American history. On the front, you see Sacagawea carrying her infant son Jean-Baptiste, a powerful image of survival, guidance, and strength. The detail is sharp, emotional, and completely different from earlier dollar coins. Now flip the coin over and you'll see the eagle in flight, surrounded by 17 stars. Those stars represent the 17 states in the Union at the time of the Lewis and Clark expedition. This is not random decoration. Every detail on this coin was carefully chosen to tell a story. And that story is exactly why collectors continue to hunt these coins today. Let's talk numbers, because this is where things get interesting. Over 767 million Sacagawea dollars were struck in the year 2000 across all mints, and the Philadelphia Mint alone produced a massive portion of them. That sounds like the coin should be worthless, right? Wrong. High minted does not automatically mean low value, especially when most coins were never used, were stored improperly, or suffered surface damage over time. Here's what most people don't know. The Sacagawea dollar is made of a manganese brass clad composition. That's what gives it the golden color. But this metal is extremely sensitive. Many 2000p coins developed spotting, dark stains, and surface issues even before entering circulation. Clean, bright examples are far harder to find today than people realize. Condition matters massively with this coin. And now we reach the part collectors love and casual owners completely miss: rare varieties. The 2000p Sacagawea dollar has some of the most famous and dramatic varieties in modern U.S. coinage. The most talked about is the so-called Cheerios dollar. Early in the year 2000, some Sacagawea dollars were placed in boxes of Cheerios cereal as a promotion. Those coins were different. The tail feathers on the eagle were more detailed than on regular circulation strikes. At the time, nobody noticed. Years later, collectors discovered the difference, and values exploded. While not every 2000p Sacagawea is a Cheerios variety, the fact that this coin has such a legendary era makes every example worth a second look. Many people still have these coins sitting in jars, drawers, or old collections without ever checking the details. Another thing people overlook is strike quality. The Philadelphia Mint in 2000 struggled with consistency. Some coins show weak details, especially in the facial features and eagle feathers. Strongly struck examples are significantly more desirable. If your coin has crisp details, sharp lines, and minimal surface marks, it instantly jumps into a higher collector category. Now let's address value honestly, without hype but with reality. A heavily worn 2000p Sacagawea dollar might be worth face value. That's the truth. But uncirculated examples can sell for several times face value, and pristine pieces can go much higher. Special varieties, exceptional condition coins, or coins with unusual surface characteristics can reach prices that shock people who thought these were just spendable dollars. What makes this coin even more fascinating is its failure as a circulating dollar. The U.S. government spent millions promoting it, yet the public rejected it. People confused it with quarters. Vending machines didn't always accept it. Banks stored them in vaults. Millions sat untouched. That failure turned into a collector's opportunity. Think about it logically. A coin made to circulate but never truly used. A historic design featuring a Native American woman. A metal composition that makes clean examples scarce. Famous varieties tied to one of the biggest cereal promotions ever. All of that wrapped into one coin. This is why serious collectors never laugh at the Sacagawea dollar. And let me be very clear here. The 2000p Sacagawea dollar is not just about money. It's about timing. Modern U.S. coins are only now starting to gain serious collector respect. As older generations pass collections down, interest in early modern issues is rising fast. Coins from the year 2000 mark a new millennium. That psychological factor alone adds long-term appeal. If you are holding one of these coins, do not clean it. Do not polish it. Do not damage the surface trying to make it shiny. Original condition is everything. Even light scratches or cleaning marks can destroy collector interest instantly. Keep it safe, dry, and protected. Collectors who win are the ones who pay attention to details everyone else ignores. Look closely at the eagle's tail feathers. Study the surface for unusual patterns. Compare strike strength. Many people have already spent rare coins simply because they didn't know what they had. And here's the aggressive truth most channels won't tell you. The Sacagawea dollar is underestimated. Massively underestimated. People chase flashy silver coins and overlook modern gold-colored dollars, not realizing that rarity often hides in plain sight. The smartest collectors move before the crowd, not after prices explode. If you are building a collection, the 2000p Sacagawea dollar deserves a spot. If you are hunting for hidden value, this coin deserves your attention. If you think modern coins don't matter, this coin proves you wrong. So the next time you see a golden dollar, don't dismiss it. Pick it up. Study it. Respect it. Because the 2000p Sacagawea dollar is not just a coin. It's a symbol of American history, a failed experiment turned collector favorite, and a potential sleeper waiting to be rediscovered. If you want to know which modern coins are silently rising, which everyday coins hide rare varieties, and which pieces people are spending without realizing their value, then you already know what to do. Stay late, stay curious, and never underestimate the coins everyone else ignores.